Hey everybody, as always, I hope you're doing well out there. In today's video, I'm going to be walking you through how to use the auto climb feature on your Garmin Instinct watch. Now I'm using the Garmin Instinct Solar. Shouldn't matter whether you've got one of the solar versions or non-solar versions. This feature is available on all the Garmin Instinct watches. Now while it's available on all the Garmin Instinct watches, it's not available on all activities. So you're only going to see this available on certain activities on the watch. We'll see that once we get into it. All the auto climb feature is, first let me say, this is one of the more poorly written things in the Garmin Instinct manual in terms of explaining what it does. All it is it's basically a feature that when you're out doing an activity, if a certain elevation happens, a certain rate of elevation change occurs, you can predetermine what data screen and fields to display so that it knows that you're climbing. And I'm going to show you that once we jump into it. Let's press and hold the menu button. It's the middle button on the left-hand side. And then we're going to use the up or down button. We're going to go to Settings, press GPS to select Settings. We're going to choose Activities and Apps again by pressing GPS. And I'm just going to choose the hike activity by pressing GPS. And I'm going to go into hike settings. The first thing that you're going to see in your settings is data screens. Now this is important because when the auto climb feature is turned on, you're going to get to choose which of these data screens should be displayed so that you can look at your climbing information. I'm going to press GPS. You can see I've got this screen, I've got this screen, this one, so on and so forth. As with most activities, all of these screens and data fields you can change any way you want to. You can predefine what values you're wanting to see for the given activity. I'm going to go back. Now we're just going to go all the way down Oops, looks like I missed it. To auto climb. By default, this feature should be off. If you press the GPS button, you can go into the auto climb settings and parameters. If you want to turn it on, you simply just toggle it between off and on, but there's some different things you can change here. So, if you're doing a running activity and the auto climb is enabled, what data screen do you want to be viewable? So I'm going to press GPS. I can choose this one. That's the one that Gil is currently set to. Or I can choose this one or this one. We're seeing the exact same data screens we just looked at in our data screen setup for the given activity. So for a running activity, if auto climb is enabled, I want this data screen to appear. If it's a climbing activity, same thing. Which data screen do I want to appear? Well, I'm going to press GPS. I'm going to look at my values. I want this one to appear. Invert colors means if auto climb is enabled and it switches to one of those screens, do you want to change the color of the watch? Currently I've got the light background with the dark lettering. Do I want it to change so I know that it's changed modes and now it's in auto climb? You can simply toggle that on or off. And then the last thing is you can change the vertical speed. At what parameter does it have to hit in order for auto climb to be enabled? I've got mine set to 1,550 feet an hour. If there's a vertical speed change of 1,550 feet an hour, auto climb will be enabled. For me, you can simply adjust this any way you want to, set the value the way you want, and that's what's going to determine whether or not auto climb gets triggered on or not. And then last but not least is mode switch. How quickly do you want the device to change modes whenever it's enabled? Slow, medium, or fast? That's all auto climb does for you. It's simply an on or off with some different parameters. If auto climb is enabled, it'll switch to the given data screen that you've got predefined under your values here. I guess it's kind of cool, you know, if you're out hiking and you realize, oh, I'm getting to a certain height or I'm going a certain pace of change, I want to look at this one data screen versus another data screen. You can kind of do the same thing manually though within the activity. You can always change to whatever data screen you want. This is just letting the watch do it for you. Once you've got it set the way you want, you can simply press the back button and now you're ready to go out and do the given activity with the auto climb feature turned on or off depending on your preference. I hope the video makes sense. As always, if you've got any questions, post them in the comments. Be happy to help you out. Thanks for watching.